certain sights, sounds, smells, touches get us motivated positively or negatively. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about motivating yourself with some sights, sounds, touches, smells, and also things to stay away from. Now, this is one of my favorites that I've been wanting to hear for a couple of months now. That, of course, well, for those of you that don't know, is the introduction to NBA basketball. And this time of year during the playoffs, when I hear that sound, it's like, all right, I'm going to get to watch some basketball. See, I'm a big basketball nut. I'm sure you have your hobbies and things that you're interested in, and certain sights and sounds get you excited also. But it can work positively and negatively. You know, there are certain aspects, like when you see a certain person, you say to yourself, oh no, here comes so-and-so. That's the end of this party. But let's focus on the positive, because these are times when, you know, we're talking about getting started, a new start for virtually everybody. There's going to be new aspects to everybody's job, new aspects to everybody's way of thinking, new aspects to virtually everything that we do, you know, given the circumstances that we've just gone through. You know, certain sights, sounds, touch, smells inspire certain activity. Now, recently there was a 10-part series featuring Michael Jordan, and boy, what is it that motivated him? He would find something that somebody would do, and he would take that personally, and that's what motivated him. And one example that he gave was he went out to dinner, and the opposing coach before the finals happened to be sitting at another table, and he didn't stop and say hi. He goes, he didn't say hi to me? Well, I'm going to show him, you know. Or if you really want to see how Michael Jordan thinks in terms of motivating himself, go listen to his Hall of Fame induction speech. He talks about everything under the sun. One of the things was his roommate as a freshman was the guy that was the North Carolina freshman, senior of the year in basketball when he was playing, and his motivation was, I'm going to show him. So he takes everything and brings it to the next level. But that's, you know, that's Michael Jordan. Let's talk about a couple of things that, you know, that affect everybody. You know, when you go, for me, you know, my dad was sick for a very long time. I was in the hospital, you know, visiting virtually every single day, of course. And the antiseptic smell of a hospital, boy, not something I get excited about. It doesn't bring back the great memories. On the other hand, the new car smell. How about, you smell the seats and everything. It's a motivating factor. Take a test drive with that car that you want and smell the smell. Be conscious of it. Help plant that vision in your mind. It'll help you achieve that much more quickly. And speaking of achieving things quickly, two smells that got me to achieve quickly are the smell of a bakery. And there was this place on the south side of Chicago. It's not there anymore. 87th Street Ribs, I guess is what it was called. And the first time I was in Chicago on business as a salesperson, I had a map. I didn't know anything about the city at all, you know, who lived where, whatever. But I drove by this area and I smelled that smell, and I stopped and I parked and I walked in on the south side, and I was the only white person for miles, all right? This is the black section, south side of Chicago. And I walked into the rib place and I said, boy, I smell those ribs. I have to have an order. And I said to him, you know, I'm not from around here. And the guy from the counter looked at me and he goes, really? I didn't know that, all right? And we both smiled and laughed, all right? So, I mean, the smells, how about the smell? And once again, these are things with me, the smell of the gym, all right? Other people go, ew, okay? But for me, a basketball junkie, going in the smell of the gym is a motivating smell. Or freshly cut spring grass. That made me want to go get my baseball glove. Or how about the smell of the ocean? Or one of my all-time favorites, of course, is the allure of ladies' perfume. Right? And so there's different things that can get you motivated. That's the smell. How about some sights and some sounds? all right? The crowd and cheerleaders. When I used to play basketball, either in high school or in college, you know, you hear the buzzing of the crowd, and then the cheerleaders start going, and you're going through the layup line, and everybody's yelling and screaming, and everybody's excited, all right? And you get yourself really pumped up for the game. Then, of course, I would go sit on the bench, get up for the national anthem, sit down again, and not even get any game sweat, okay? But anyway, I used to get excited going through the layup line. That was a fun thing. When I drive to Indianapolis, I used to live in Indianapolis. I managed an office. They have one of the bigger architecture sites in the city of Indianapolis is three buildings called the Pyramids. And you can see them from pretty good distance. They're pretty tall. There aren't a whole lot of tall buildings on that part of Indianapolis, and you can see them. And I had an office on the top floor of one of those pyramids for a number of years, and so every time I drive by, I always look, and I always get that feeling in the pit of my stomach. How about when things that get you excited, get me excited, when I love to go up to Maine, to a place where I used to be a camp counselor, and the fraternal organization, and all my buddies go. We go once a year for 1 week, although this year doesn't look too good for getting together because of the pandemic. But driving up, at the interstate, and you're crossing over a bridge, I believe it's called the Kosciuszko Bridge, and there's a sign that says, "Welcome to Maine." All right, and so you drive from Massachusetts, you go through New Hampshire, you get up to Maine, and you go, "Yes, I'm almost there. I'm 45 minutes away." All right, so what about the sense of touch? Okay, of course, the touch of your significant other, your spouse, the touch of a child. I remember when we first brought Eli home from the hospital. He was born in Indianapolis, and we lived about 3 hours away from there. So, the wife had Eli in the back seat, and there I was driving like a chauffeur for 3 hours, didn't mind it a bit. And we got home to our home, and there were all sorts of people there. They knew we were bringing Eli home, and everybody was, they threw a little party for us and everything. And so it was really fun. And then my wife says, "Here, Eli's dad, hold Eli." And it was like the first time, and I'm thinking, like, "You want me to hold him? I'll drop him. I don't want to hold." But you learn, and then you feel the skin, and it's that feeling you don't. That doesn't get erased from your memory. It's a great memory, And sitting in my chair at my desk, all right, tells me it's work time. It's time to go to work. It's time to do some writing. It's time to do some preparing. Or sitting in the chair in the den in the morning, where I do my meditations and my quiet thinking time. I sit in that chair early in the morning. Nobody disturbs me. And that's my personal time every single day. People know not to disturb me when he's in the chair. He's in the chair, leave him alone, don't disturb him. All right? How about the smell and sight of your place of worship? Doesn't your attitude change as you go in through the doors and you see what you see, and sort of the unique aroma of a place of worship? And then some people have a different kind of place of worship. They worship at the pizza place, all right? And the smell of the pizza place. For me, one of the things that kind of gets me going as far as activity is concerned is I like to take time out in the summer and do a lot of research. I go to Lake Michigan, sit by the lake, and I get a book and I only bring one because I don't want to be distracted. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to highlight this book. I'm going to get stuff from it. I'm going to make notes from it. But I dedicate that time when I'm there, and there can be like hundreds of people around me, but I don't notice a thing. I'm sitting there, I'm reading my book. And of course, under the heading of Educate, Lead, and Inspire, Project Eli, my number one thing is kind of polar opposites. The sight of seeing Eli, when I look and I see the sight of Eli, is very motivating. And then when he's being a pain in the royal pain in the backside, the sight of Eli getting out of my sight. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, gather the things around you that motivate you and do them in a routine and get yourself motivated to the starting line and moving forward. Because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.